So as we work our way through the culture code system, we look at the principles that underpin it, we looked at our values and behaviours, we've looked at real talk and how we conduct conversations. The next step, and this again is one of the critical steps, is making sure that you get the right leaders for your team. How do you do that? In the past, what coaches and leaders of sporting teams have tended to do is to actually pick the best players. And so while that may have worked in some cases and not in others, what we would encourage you to do is to use your culture code to identify the players and the behaviours and match them up the best you can. So which players best represent the team behaviours and values that your group has identified. Now you can choose them yourself as the leader or the coach of the team, or you can get the group to decide. Either way, it's up to you. In a perfect world, what we would say is get the players to vote. So get the players to do a 3-2-1 for their teammates who they believe best represent the values and behaviours or the culture code that the group's decided on. How do you do that? Pretty straightforward. Give them a sheet of paper each, get them to put 3-2-1 on the thing, nominate a player that they think best represents the values and behaviours, the second best player, the third best player, gather them in, collate them, and the players that get the most 3s, 2s and 1s are the players who are elected as the leaders. When you are instructing the group to do their vote, it's really important that you talk to them about voting for the people that best represent the values and behaviours, not their friends. Now, if you wanted to do it in positional or zone areas, you might do it in forwards, backs, mids, or offence, defence, depending on the sport, so that you've got a leadership person in each area. And then you might end up with a leadership group of, say, 3 people, a captain, an offence and a defence. Or if it's in football, it might be a leadership group of 4, where you've got a captain, a mid, a defender and a forward. So the number of leaders that we would recommend for you to work with is probably somewhere between 3 and 5. You don't want it too big because it becomes unwieldy and it's hard to get everyone organised. But it's also good to have more than 2 because it gives you a variety of conversation. Once you've selected your leadership group, it is really important that you then use them well. So make sure that you meet with them, even if it's only for 15 minutes, once a week to discuss training, to discuss reviews, to discuss planning for the next game, just to get their input. And then the rest of the team, if they understand that, they will feed information through, not only to yourself, but to the leaders of the group. And it allows you a much better way of transferring communication through the team. It also allows you to control the group and to influence the group more effectively because the leaders of the group, if you've got the right leaders and they live the behaviours the best, what they will do is they will start to impose that on the rest of the team. So as a group, we start to live the culture code more and more and more. And this is particularly important in games and particularly important when in game we're under pressure. So it takes the emphasis away from the scoreboard and it puts it back onto the process. What do we do right now? We live the culture code. And if the leaders are doing it, others will follow. So getting the leadership group right and using them well is one of the most important and effective ways of getting the best out of your team.